If you're listening right now to the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, we know something about you. We know that you're obsessed with Little House on the Prairie.
For more than half a century, Little House on the Prairie, the series and the books have been bright lights for people all over the world who seek out goodness, decency, and human connection.
Here on the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast, we celebrate everything that made Little House so special.
The stories, the characters, the actors, and the messages that have made Little House iconic family television.
And a perfect counterpoint to a world that feels like it's going off the rails every day.
Where is Michael Landon when we need him most? I'm your host, Pamela Bob.
And I'm your prairie bitch, Allison Arngrim.
And I'm Dean Butler.
Our hashtag imaginary boyfriend. Join us for our loving, quirky, and often irreverent conversations about the finest family drama in the history of television.
And the imperfect people who made it that way.
In this third season, we are extremely grateful for the support of VisitSeeMeValley.com for their continuing sponsorship of Little House on the Prairie and the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast. Oh, the savage, yeah. Hi, everybody. Bonnethead savagery, yes. It's that episode. It's that episode today. Hi. I'm Pamela Bob. I'm creator and star of Living on a Prairie and superfan, and I'm your host today and every week. And I'm here with our wonderful prairie bitch, Allison Arngrim, yes. And our hashtag imaginary boyfriend, not just mine, yours and everybody's, Dean Butler. How are you guys?
Good. Well,
what a weekend.
I know you had an epic weekend, and I'm just going to preface this. Sorry, guys. My dog is sitting on my lap, so if you see her, she's a little sick right now, and she's very needy. So she refused to be off my lap.
Feeling under the weather.
I know she just might be overheated a bit, but it's hot here in New York.
Yeah.
But anyway, besides that, yes. Tell us a little bit about your weekend, Dean.
Well, so I did a little pre-70th birthday gathering.
It was epic.
At a wonderful restaurant in Santa Monica called Farm Shop, and it's just in this very cool little part of town. It's very gentrified, very buttoned up. You see a lot of beautiful people hanging around in this mall. It has that vibe to it. But when I went into the place to check it out, I saw this not beautiful, but it's very graphic, black and white, 40s, 50s blow up of a family farm with the silo and the barn and the parents and the children in the field and working on a cornfield. I thought, well, this is where I have to do this. And I wanted to do it. I really wanted this to focus around my little house family, our little house family that is local, and particularly around those people who have been such a part of our little house experience in the recent years. So it was really fun. Farm Shop came up with a spectacular menu. Allison, you being the chef in the group here, you can comment on our recreation of cinnamon chicken, and there's going to be some video on this some social video that's going to drop.
Oh God!
But
the whole
so
meal,
Allison, what did you think of the cinnamon chicken?
Oh, okay. First of all, whole meal, 10 out of 10. Like top. I mean,
She was raving about it. Yes.
So first of all, this place it's adorable. You go through like this little mall, and there's all these little shops, and Farm Shop. Then you go and you go, this huge place, and there's a restaurant, but there's a store, and you can buy wine and cookbooks and gourmet foods and fruit, and okay, things are like super expensive, but they're like adorable. And then we sit down at this huge table, and of course he's got the son's like this is did I take this interview? You bet I took this interview.
It's so cool.
You have these. And they were adorable. And so there was all this food because it's the family style. So all these people at this big table. And it's like, here's the avocado hummus with pistachio salsa, like a mousse thing. Freaking delicious. And then there was a salad, and then there's thing, and then there was salmon to die for. And yes, we took home leftovers, and yes, I'm having a piece today, and Bob took some for lunch. We're still eating it, for God's sake.
Okay.
And yes, I still have the chocolate chip cookies. So we had all this food, and then they brought cinnamon chicken. And so the big bowls, like so of these big hunks of chicken, like they cooked up a whole chicken and just like whacked it with a cleaver. And these big hunks of chicken with grilled lemons that you can like you have no idea how good. And the sauce, it was more of a sticky sauce than like a pan fried crunchy thing. And the sauce was clearly like, I don't know, maybe I don't know if there was honey in there, but there was
Yes, definitely there was honey.
honey and cinnamon, and then Dina told them, you got to put a little bit of the cayenne pepper, a little pepper. So just a hint of spice, like as you taste, you go, yeah, there's the pepper in there. Okay, great.
Not enough to choke on, but really
not enough
great.
to choke, and it was super moist too, so you could not possibly choke. It was so freaking delicious, and yes, we took home leftovers that night. Ate that did yesterday and Sunday. So I mean, it was epic. I was like, no, I just want half a piece of salmon because I'm having like doubles on the cinnamon chicken. Yes. That freaking, and the smashed potatoes. Oh my, those were like addictive. The food was insanely good, and the cinnamon chicken. This was a totally different version.
Yeah, that's
your
cool.
recipe has like apple cider is kind of a saucy thing, and mine is a more crunchy pan fried thing. This was a whole other thing, like baked, and
really
and then
terrific.
There was carrot cake, and then he gave everybody packets of chocolate chip cookies, and yes.
Which we baked. So I made Catherine and I make up the batter, up the cookie dough, and I stir it by hand. And we've been doing this for 30 years. We've been making chocolate chip cookies. So it had to be our, one of my favorite foods. And so, yes, we did that. And Catherine baked for an afternoon, getting the 80 some cookies that were necessary to do this, and bagged them and put the nice little wrapper around them. And so, it was just, it was just sort of, it was fun. And the carrot cake was just.
Was that from them or another bakery?
It was from them.
God, I love carrot cake.
It had nuts and the thing and the cream cheese frosting. Was, yeah.
And then the last thing, I said, I've got to have Rocky Road ice cream. So they served literally like a small scoop of Rocky Road ice cream in a little, like a little white bowl, and which was absolutely delicious. I wanted much more of it, but it was great.
I was so full from the smashed potatoes and the chicken and the thing and the vegetables and that I was like, okay, I can't eat this. They cut me a piece of cake that was the size of my head. I said, I can't eat all this. But then they brought the teeny thing of ice cream, and it was like Rocky Road, but then they threw some more nuts and marshmallows on top of it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm having this. That was like one of the best things I've ever eaten.
Well, it was really fun. And then this morning after we finished the podcast, Catherine and I, and Catherine, the three of us, Catherine, Benny, and I will be driving to Northern California so that we can spend the actual birthday, which is tomorrow, tomorrow the 20th, with my 91-year-old mother. And I think this is this felt really important to me that we spend this particular birthday with her. So we will do that. And then we're doing another little gathering nearby her place where it'll be some family friends, and we'll do that. So this will be a well-fed birthday. I never do parties, so I overdid. We're doing 2 parties this year.
Well, it's a big. I see. We have a policy at our house. We call it birthday month. If it's a big birthday, we go, and now it's your birthday month, and you're allowed to have as many parties, outings, dinners, gifts as you feel necessary during the entire 30-day period. So birthday month, go for it.
Thank you for that. Oh, and Allison, thank you for the DQ gift certificate, so I can have a Blizzard anytime I feel like stepping into one. Yes, that's very important. We've decided on some of our trips. Allison discovered my fascination for Dairy Queen and their Blizzard product, which is just like so. There's so much of it, and it's so rich, and it's so good. And whenever we're in the Midwest, there's always a trip to Dairy Queen.
Well,
because they're hard to find in LA.
And how about some endorsements here? Come on, baby.
Right? Dairy Queen. Oh my God, he's a Dairy Queen guy. He's like keeping you in business by himself.
Yeah.
We go to these places. You don't really see Dairy Queen in California.
No,
very
it's not really a
You're-
California thing at all.
You hardly
Oh,
ever
it's
see a Dairy
not?
Queen.
No,
And
it's
not
not.
in LA.
Oh,
LA.
it's very
Yeah,
East
no, it's
Coast.
not.
It's
You go as soon
very
as you start driving cross country, they start popping up, and we go to all these prairie places where there's Dairy Queen, and he's like, this is Dairy Queen.
They sort of start hitting at least as you go east, as you approach the Arizona border, you start seeing Dairy Queens pop up, and then
And
they're
you're in,
everywhere in Arizona.
Missouri and Minnesota,
Yeah,
places like that. It's like a Dairy Queen every 10 feet.
Oh,
South Dakota
they're
is
all over the East Coast. I mean,
And
Yes,
so,
I know.
yeah.
I know.
Jersey,
South
Jersey,
Dakota.
all over Jersey.
And they stay open late. So when we're back, even from a Little House event in the evening, he's like, Dairy Queen's still open, and we go.
Dairy Queen in New Jersey is along with the ultimate East Coast donut experience, Dunkin' Donut. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
Although
We got Dunkin'.
Dunkin' D's are everywhere on the East Coast, but Boston is like the mecca of Dunkin' Donuts. There are two on every street in Boston. It's like
sort of like Starbucks
it's
here. I mean, it's like
insane.
yeah.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
And New York used to have an ice cream place, a local New York ice cream place, but it was very famous called Carvel's.
Yes,
where the
yes,
infamous-
we have that. We have here.
That
Do we still have it? We used to have it as a kid.
There's actually one about less than a mile from on Santa Monica Boulevard
Good.
between Westwood and Sepulveda that
because when
you
it
could
was
swing
just
into.
a New York local thing, the commercials in the 80s were
Oh, they had him here. The whale.
Unreal.
The whale. Get your birthday kit.
it
Whale
was always
for
like
your
Yes.
birthday.
Carvel with the new thick New York accent. Come to Carvel.
Get a whale-shaped cake. Why is it-
So yeah, there's a lot. So there's a lot going on. I just want to mention we have as we come up on the podcast, and thank you for the acknowledgement of the birthday. I really
Oh my gosh,
appreciate it.
it's a big one.
Laura Harden joining us very soon, so stay tuned for that.
Yep.
I think that's going to be really, really fun. We've got our event coming up in Malone, New York, July 24th, 25th, and 26th. I will be in Heritage Village in Ohio, August 7th and 8th. And we're getting ready to announce a huge event in Nashville for September, which will be, I think,
Cryptic.
one of the
Ooh.
really, really special events that we will do as a Little House family. So that's really exciting. Allison, you're obviously everywhere all the time.
I got like most of this month off because I like killed it the last
Yeah,
few weeks.
totally.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
got
good for
back
you,
from
yeah.
France on April 7th. I was in Tombstone by April 9th. And then it was Missouri Cherry Blossom Festival. Then it was Ocean City, Maryland for the car show. Then it was like boom, 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 one after the other. Then I went to New York, did 3 shows. Stockbridge, Massachusetts Foundry, sold out. Then did my show Mother's Day in New York. Then came home and collapsed. So I'm just like taking care of stuff and doing things that need to be done and getting some sleep.
Good for you.
And then I don't go anywhere until somewhere in June. I know because I said getting my Laura Ingalls Wilder historical site bingo card.
Ah, yes, very good.
Very excited about
Very good.
Burrow. And in fact, it's not until late June that I start jumping on planes, and then a little July, and then a little break in August. Although, you're going to Cincinnati. I'm not sure because I'm going to fabulous Provincetown, Massachusetts, for 2 shows at the Red Room in August. I'm looking at if I flew straight from there to Cincinnati.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
Cryptic.
Well,
Everything
Okay.
is cryptic.
I think it would be. Are you saying? Are you teasing
am
the idea that you
seriously
might come to
contemplating
Ohio?
changing my flight from Boston to LA to Boston to Cincinnati. Now that, of course, they need to buy me a ticket home. I mean, that would somehow.
I think
unless
they
I
would
get
take
that
it.
ticket.
I think that would be absolutely epic if you did that. This place is a
Nice.
beautiful, beautiful location.
pretty?
You'd be knocked out by it, and the fan support was just off the hook. It was incredible. So
I
I
might
think
have to
you
go.
should
I
check it
might
out.
have
We
to
should
go.
talk about it. Let's talk
We will.
about it.
We will talk. We will talk.
Okay.
I mean, I'll be on a stretcher by the time we're
Sure.
done.
Sure.
But what the heck?
Yes.
Worse things have happened. So
Yes.
Worst things have happened. Yeah.
So, well, I don't know about worse things, but that's one of the things that can happen. So,
Yeah.
I think we should get into this episode.
Let's do this. Okay.
Clearly, this is
This
sort of a
episode.
surprise episode for us. So, but let's get into it.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll get into it. Yes. Yes. But first, from UBN Go and Prairie Partners, and visit seemivalley.com and our patrons here on Patreon. This is the Little House on the Prairie 50th Anniversary Podcast. All right. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with this one because, okay, well, first, but let me preface this. First, we were like, we've done some really heavy episodes the past few episodes. Let's lighten it up. Let's do a funny, like a lighter one. Great, of which there are plenty in Little House on the Prairie. And Dean suggested this one. We were all like, fantastic. And then I went and visited it and went, first of all, this is a season 9 episode, which is, let's face it, either hit or miss with season 9. Season 9 is a very controversial season of how many times we are jumping the shark, in fact. And then when I was watching this, I was like, this is the most bizarre episode of all time. This is a particularly... I'm trying to be nice. I'm really trying to be nice because... all right, we'll get into it. Dean, what are we talking about?
So today we're talking about episode 14 of season 9. This is The Older Brothers. The Older Brothers premiered on January 17th, 1983, written by Michael Landon, directed by Victor French. So what's the episode about, Allison?
Oh, Allison.
Take out the long descriptor.
Possibly be the dumbest thing the dumbest
she said it, not me, but I will concur.
No, I laughed. I did laugh, but it's dumb. If you want dumb humor, this is your episode. It's so dumb. And we just had the heaviest episode. We wound up in like People Magazine again, talking because it was like trigger warning, oh my God, episode with Victor French. We just did this there. And now we're doing like the dumbest episode where like nothing happens. So it's, there's that. So indeed, the Older Brothers, you see, is what happens when us briefly ride straight past Walnut Grove into a dusty frontier comedy sketch. Yes. Written by Michael Landon, directed by Victor French, who is epic. And he gets to be funny here, and he's just clearly gone.
Does he know?
He restrains himself in this one.
I know.
No, he does not.
I failed to say that anyone was really funny in this episode, but continue.
Yeah, Victor's performance is restrained because everyone else is chewing the scenery to the last splinter.
Yes.
3 not too bright outlaws. Wow, that's being.
It's actually 3 not too bright outlaws.
3 these not too bright outlaws, actually possibly the stupidest people ever to walk the earth and be able to breathe. They decide their quickest path, the easy money, would be kidnapping Isaiah Edwards. I just said they're not very smart. Okay. They then are going to turn themselves in to collect the reward themselves. They decide at one point, we get the reward money for turning ourselves, because they're that dumb. This episode literally is this stupid. In every possible way, it is a terrible plan. Now, the real fun, I guess, if it comes from terrific.
We'll talk about all this. Yeah.
Now, these guys, yes, I IMDb'd these people. Jeffrey Lewis, Timothy Scott,
I mean,
Robert
they were awesome.
Dorr, Sunset Parker. Look these people up. Oh, dear Lord.
This is a really talented group.
My problems with this episode have nothing to do with the actors in it. Zero.
And they fully understand that they have wandered into one of the goofiest episodes of Little House ever produced. Meanwhile, Victor French gamely plays Edwards as a weary hostage trapped inside a live-action Western cartoon. Yes, it got very Wile E. Coyote. While the older brothers stagger from one idiotic scheme to another like outlaw cousins of the Three Stooges. The result is a bizarre mix of frontier slapstick, backwards absurdity, and Saturday matinee Western parody that feels completely out of character for Little House on the Prairie, which is precisely what makes it strangely unforgettable. Yes, it's, yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so
we've never
okay, yeah,
done
go
an
ahead, Pamela. You're obviously just like
She's
just
chomping at the bit to describe the
yes.
insanity of this episode.
so
Go for it.
here's my conflict right now is that we love Little House on the Prairie. Like, obviously, like, we revere the show. We can point out some funny things about it, but still have complete love and admiration for it. Excuse me. This episode, I'm trying to be kind because I don't want to like completely bash it. However, this episode felt like a different show. Like, this was
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
this episode had nothing to do with Little House on the Prairie. It wasn't even really in the world of Little House on the Prairie. We've had episodes. There are plenty of episodes that are one-offs that take people we've never seen before, made them lead, and then we never see them again after that. We've had funny, stupid episodes, it's pure comedic episodes.
Right,
Sure.
Jane.
This one felt like it was not Little House on the Prairie. And it also, to me, felt like the actors were so good, but the material wasn't good enough for it to work. So it was funny, but it wasn't funny enough. It almost became annoying in terms of like how it was trying to be, it was the combination between like D-list Blazing Saddles and D-list Laurel and Hardy.
Okay, when it started,
This is not a good episode, you guys. This is not. And this
I
is
made
season
notes.
9 where it's a little hit or miss how the episodes go. But
Yeah,
and I said this before, this is an episode I watched and went, oh wow, they ran out of ideas. They forgot the world that we love and that we want to live
Heck with
in.
it.
They went outside of the world and they clearly lost their way as writers.
Well, okay.
Okay, okay. When I first started,
I know that's harsh. That was my
just-
takeaway from this episode.
Okay,
Yeah,
Allison,
Pamela,
what's your takeaway?
Let me just say, first of all, as you say, season 9 had its issues. I just like to say, did you notice in season 9 they had to bring me back for one? They had to bring me back. I was long gone. I wasn't an aide. I was over. I had left the show. I'd been gone for over a year, and suddenly they're calling my agent. No, really, could she come over and do this one episode, The Return of Nellie? Well, I don't know. I mean, she left the show. No, really, could she really come and do this? Like now, and there was like an emergency call to have me back.
Yeah.
So let's just say, just saying. Now, okay, as soon as it started, I went, the Western music. And, you know, if you listen to the music from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, it starts out with the wah-wah, but later it gets a dun, dun, dun. It is literally spaghetti Western music. David
Yes,
Rose having
absolutely
a field
it
day,
is.
lifting bar
There's
by
very
bar.
little house theming in this at all.
He's doing it's a spaghetti Western gag and the close-ups of the booth and they're like, oh yeah, Clint Eastwood's gonna show up any minute. It's gonna go any minute. Yeah, got it. So we're getting total spaghetti Western parody. The close-ups when they're shooting at cans and the terrible weird zoom in, and I went, oh, I've seen this movie. Wait, is this the Magnificent Seven? Is this the Good, the Bad, the Ugly? Which one am I watching?
Sergio Leone is all over this. With the
Completely.
extreme close-ups. Yeah.
The gag, literally, of why it is called the older brothers, is they are in fact the criminal team of the younger brothers of the Wild West who go, well, we're not out of prison. We're the older brothers now. Like, let us announce the title. So that's probably why I like the level of dumbness here. I have to admit, when Blazing Saddles came out, that was in 1974 when our show started. And our beautiful Jack Lilly that we love was in Blazing Saddles. And he's our wagon guy who's the old time with the big mustache. Well, when we were working on the show as kids and, well, with Catherine McGregor, who loved all the, Melbourne, we would quote Blazing Saddles all the time. We were constantly joking around on the set in 1974 anytime anybody did anything and just going, oh yeah, the townspeople, and we're making every possible Blazing Saddles gag. So there was a Blazing Saddles
Sure.
thing that had been going on for years, and I guess in this episode they went, well, everybody's gone. Let's just do a bad Blazing Saddles now.
I mean, it's such an interesting choice. It's just, for me, it had nothing to do with Little House on the Prairie. It felt like I was watching a completely different show, and the disconnect was it was almost disconcerting how disconnected it was, right? Like
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
made
No, I
me
don't
go,
disagree with.
they've
I
gone
don't disagree
stale.
totally with any of this.
Yeah,
I mean,
it just
I
made me
did
go,
laugh.
they've gone
I
stale.
laughed.
They've forgotten what this show is really about. And I understood why it didn't go on after the 9th
yeah.
season.
No, I look.
I laughed. It was dumb.
Yeah. I think. Look. Let's focus on what I think are some positive things here.
There
And
are
I
positives,
totally
yes.
understand what you're saying about the world that we were in here. I think one has to give a lot of credit to Jeff Lewis, Timothy Scott,
They're
and Robert
amazing.
Donner, who are and Sunshine Parker,
They're
who is
killing it.
in a unique world unto himself, and what he brings to something. You know, I just think these guys. As I watched Jeffrey Lewis work, and
He's
Jeffrey
so
Lewis has
good.
a fascinating backstory. Jeffrey Lewis is really
Yes.
one of his deals was, and people who might know him better, Catherine we talked about this last night. Catherine had much more awareness directly of Jeffrey Lewis. She worked with Bob Donner on her first movie called Fool's Parade with Jimmy Stewart.
Oh my God.
She had a sense of who he was. He apparently had some real reading challenges. He could not learn a script as it was written. He had to have it read to him.
Wow.
When he came into audition, he was always improvising. So once he understood what the story was, I think we can probably be pretty sure that a lot of what came out of Jeffrey Lewis's mouth, and Michael knew this coming into it, he knew who Jeffrey Lewis was, but he also understood that Jeffrey Lewis had this ability to commit totally to an idea.
Listen,
The thing-
he's brilliant. He's really, really. If that's like the takeaway from this episode is how brilliant this guy is. All of them, all of them.
Bully Boys, the Bully Boys episode.
I
Isn't he
love-
the eldest bully boy in that episode?
Is he?
Right.
Yes, he was on Little House more than once, and he's the eldest brother here, and he's the eldest brother in the stupid Bully Boys, the 3 idiot criminal brothers. Then that's like apparently they brought about. Yeah, you want to do that again? Yeah, sure. He's the older brother in that, and his IMDb is like,
No. I mean, he is just.
Okay,
You're
think
talking
we
about
have-
Bob Donner now.
Well, Bob Donner was in everything.
Right.
The Waltons, Yancey together, but Jeffrey Lewis.
Oh no, Jeffrey Lewis, of course, was the older brother
He's
in the
Sam
Bully
Gallagher.
Boys. Of course,
He's Sam
Of course.
Gallagher
Yes,
in the
yes.
horrible Bully Boys episode.
Except the
Yes.
Bully
He's
Boys
that guy.
episode works.
Oh no, the
He's
Bully
done-
Boys episode is a totally Little House
Yeah.
episode. I think it's
Yeah.
one of
He
a
was
great
in
Little House episode.
He was in the Clint Eastwood movies, a whole bunch of them. So he was the spaghetti western. Yeah, he's got that down.
Yeah.
He did all of that. He did. Now, the thing about Robert, one of them, who's the one who was in Cheyenne Social Club? Is that Donner? Who was it? No, wait, that's Sunshine Parker. Great, Sunshine Parker. Let's give up. Sunshine Parker was in everything. He was just in everything. There is no movie or television show apparently that's made in the history of Earth that did not have Sunshine Parker, the wackadoo sheriff, in it, and he was in Cheyenne Social Club with Charlotte Stewart, Miss B.
Oh,
There it is.
That's
There you
fun.
go.
That's fun.
All roads lead to Prairie, man.
5 episodes of Little House, 3 episodes of Bonanza, and Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. So so Sunshine, the wackadoo sheriff guy, is apparently you
One of
can't
my
make a
favorite
movie without
Sunshine
it.
Parker performances is in a John Cusack film called The Sure Thing.
Oh yeah, of course.
Where he's in a bar and John Cusack is getting drunk and they have this drunken conversation about who knows what it's about, but it's all about the women that they wish they had but didn't have. Funny. Look, I think, I mean, when you look at what this was, it was Stan Ivar and me and Ruth Foster were the only sort of Little House people in this episode.
yeah.
It stunned me when I realized, as I watched it again, because I hadn't watched it in years, that Melissa wasn't in the episode.
No.
I mean, it just sort of was like, wow.
Dude, there's not an Ingalls.
No, there's not a single Ingalls. And not only that, but it was definitely, I even wrote this in my notes. I said, Dean and Stan are now the studs of Walnut Grove, right?
So
Like,
cute. They're
it's
so
the
cute.
two of you, like the manly men, like the total, like, you know, you're Michael Landon ×2 now, right? Like, it's
Oh, I wish that were the case.
no, but in terms of
okay.
like what you are now representing on the show, but it's like it's the two of you together, and it was very, very clear in this episode that you guys were like the foundation of Little House at this point. So because the fact that Melissa wasn't even in this episode, not even for a peep,
Yeah.
is
That really surprised me when I
wild.
rewatched it.
It
Yeah.
is wild she does not appear in this episode at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dean,
Now,
at the
she may
mill,
have had
are
a
you-
conflict that week that was unavoidable.
Sure.
It's very
just nobody
possible.
from-
Don't know that.
Yeah.
Don't know
Now,
that.
Dean, at the mill, are you wearing not the same shirt, but a model sort of the pink stripy shirt that Charles used to wear all the
It's
time?
possible.
Because
I think they were sort of redressing me
remarkably-
as Charles,
Yeah.
you know.
It looked
a
it
lot
looked like
at
Muppet
different
Baby
times.
Charles. Yes.
Also,
Yeah,
the trousers were impeccably tailored. I'll just put it that way. Very flattering. Very flattering line.
Oh my God. You know, I have to say the trousers were beautifully made. They were
They
beautifully
look beautiful.
lined. They
they
were lined so they just fit like unbelievable
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
way
they
that
feel like something.
yeah.
I'm just
Well, because they
saying.
were different than the normal trouser because they had the
no,
straight
totally.
leg effect. You also kind of have the 1980s hair in this now because it's no longer the 70s. Like, how would you call it? What was your hair? The flow over.
There was a lot. There was a
It was
lot.
a lot.
Of it.
It was
I
that
know
mop of hair, and now it's sort of the fringy sort of mullety thing going on in a good way.
Fringy mullety?
In a good way.
I never connected with it as mullety, but that's but there was a lot of hair.
No, but it was obvious. It was very obvious that it's like, here are the studs of the prairie. Like, use them, baby, use them.
Yeah. I think, and I'm just gonna do a tell on myself here. I mean, this was so
I'm nervous.
this was so out of character for what we had been asked to do in the past, and I had really no serious background in this kind of material. Now, I think that you couldn't change the essence of who the people were. But I think, look, we could certainly get silly in episodes like The In-Laws. There was, Michael and I got silly and we did the cooking, and there were moments like that.
Yes.
With Catherine McGregor and Divorce Walnut Grove style and the apron and all of that. We could have fun with that.
And season 9?
We were the straight guys in this,
right?
And we had to sort of be what we were expected to be. Victor could always go back and forth from menacing, as we saw in the previous episode that we covered, to this, and this even because he was leaving space for them to be the brothers and the sheriff to be the crazy ones. He had a more grounded quality in this himself.
Yeah, Edwards was even like, the whole thing was just peculiar. It did not feel like Mr. Edwards. It did not feel like John Carter and Almanzo Wild. Like, it didn't feel like what we know you guys to be on the show.
I like the jail scene when the two of you were peeking through the bars. How cute were they? Remember, now this is awful. Sorry, Dean, but remember I said before that, like, those Christmas claymation specials. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yes.
And it's just the little characters.
Yeah.
And they had
Yeah.
the lips,
Like the dentist from Rudolph. Yes.
Right, but he kind of looks like the Kris Kringle in Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and an amazing character. And in this particular one, wow, yikes! When he peeked through the bars with the wide eyes, I went,
That's
"Oh,
funny.
it's Santa Claus."
Huh. A claymation character.
Yes, a little. You did very well.
I mean,
It's
if
very
that is not
cartoon.
indicative of how weird this episode is, then
Well,
I don't know what is.
it was super cartoon. It got very Wile E. Coyote with the dynamite. Their
Oh,
answer to
I
everything
love the dynamite
was,
runner.
"How do we do that?" Well, I have a stick of dynamite, and then like
He
7
always had a
times
stick.
later,
Tim Scott always had a stick of dynamite
yeah,
in his pocket.
and it was their answer to everything. How do we open this up? Well, is it dynamite? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went, it's Wile E. Coyote, and then but you through the bars with the wide. I went, and no, it is a cartoon. Okay, yeah.
One of my the Looney Tunes that featured Yosemite Sam have been my absolute favorites
Yeah,
of the
there you
Looney
go.
Tune.
This
Other
was-
than Bugs Bunny, Yosemite Sam is the character for me. Jeff Lewis, I think, was channeling Yosemite Sam
Absolutely.
throughout this with the that he just sort of fumbling it. He was quieter about it. He was, Yosemite Sam was really
Yeah.
demonstrative. I just love the way he took his time
He's
to
brilliant.
process what he was hearing and reacting to it. I think they were wonderful, but it wasn't our show.
There was a Blazing Saddles moment, like when the bank. So they're in apparently that was first the bank and the different. It's like, are they in a ghost town? Is there anyone
Yes,
in the
right.
bank?
Yeah.
What the hell is even happening?
This
There's
flashback, this like what
there
is
was
that?
no one there. There's tumbleweeds. How is there anyone?
Tumbleweeds
I had
everywhere.
no idea
There's
what's
no
happening.
one there. Right.
And then later, though, they're when they're at the jail, and the townspeople come out. They weren't dressed like our Little House townspeople. They were dressed exactly like the townspeople in Blazing Saddles.
Oh
It was a
wow, that's
Blazing Saddles
interesting.
joke.
So
I
you
went,
think
"They
Victor
don't
was
look
doing
like-
a little
oh, crap,
homage
it's
there?
Blazing Saddles. Yes.
That's interesting.
There were some blatant Blazing Saddles, like in jokes, and then spaghetti western in jokes, and then a lot of Wile E. Coyote. I like that Mr. Edwards is taking a bath in his long johns.
I
This has not
know.
been-
Why was he in those long johns?
It's like that never.
Or maybe
nude
he didn't
thing
want
from-
to be seen. Maybe he just
I
didn't
also-
want. He had some
What's
shyness
that
about
TV
the
show?
body.
The Never Nude thing with the showering in the shorts.
Yeah, Arrested
guy-
Development. Arrested Development.
Yes, Arrested Development.
David
the Never
Cross's
Nudes, where you're
character.
showering your shorts. Yes. Is it that?
Is he never nude?
Is it
I also
like-
love how we're jumping around and not even trying to tell what the
No,
story of this
I don't
episode
think there's
is,
any point in
'cause
really
it's
trying to
so
run the plot on this.
silly.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
So-
I don't think that. Yeah.
Okay, so Dean,
Yes.
as this was filming, like when you got the script and as you were filming this, did you think this is not Prairie, or did you just go with it because it was a script?
Yeah, I
and it
think we
was
just
fun?
would. Pamela, I think in that situation, the material. I mean, there was so much going on in all of our lives during this season. There was a lot of distraction, and
We
I'm
were
sorry
busy.
that there was so much distraction, but there was a lot of distraction during this particular season. So with Michael not there on an ongoing basis the way he had been, you don't realize everyone knew always obviously how great he was and how solid he was, but you don't realize what is missing when that presence
Of course.
is not there
Of
until
course.
it's not there.
Right.
Not tooting my own horn, but everybody's presence. Everybody's gone. Okay, Melissa Sue Anderson is no longer there.
Right.
Karen's not really
Right.
there. Who's not
Well,
there?
Karen's not. Yeah, no, Karen was
I
not there
wasn't
at all.
there.
That
And
season. You
when
were
I
not there.
came back, I'm just saying, season 9, they called me back because, it was like 911. Can we have Nellie Olson please come back for an episode? Help us. And just saying, and I had a really good time, and I'm so glad I came back, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, more than one person did
Yeah.
come to me and say, "Oh my God, thank God you're here. This is so cool." Listen, when you're not here, whatever energy you were bringing isn't
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
boring. You fulfilled a role besides being Nellie Olson on the set amongst
Yes.
the people.
Totally.
The
Yes,
actors,
all
the
that.
chemistry. You were like comedy buffer if we got bored or tired or tense, and you'd say something silly, and they said you fulfilled a certain role and you're not here, and just noticing you back even for a day, and I was there for like a week.
No, look, I
Like,
don't
the
disagree
chemistry's
with
different.
any of that. I think, when you remove what has been the core of something, and then there are 5 new characters
No,
added
no.
during that season, and I think I, I just don't know that. I mean, I just don't know that any of us were really prepared, or that the show as a matter of staffing and creative energy was prepared to really move on
Right.
from what
Yes.
Michael
And
and
that,
Karen
yes.
had brought, and what Allison, what you all brought. Now,
Everybody.
we had Nancy Olson, who was
Brilliant.
crazy instead of funny. And
Love that.
you know, yeah, I just think that there's a lot to be evaluated here, and I think this episode, more than the episode itself, it really speaks to what was missing. I mean,
Do you
it could be a
feel-
lot about what was missing.
Do you feel ever that Little House of New Beginning was technically kind of a new show, like a spin-off almost? I've
Well, I
had
think it had a
fans say,
different
well, the
title.
Little
I
House,
think it-
Little House of New Beginning, it's a different show,
Yes.
and you have to take it on its own terms. And even fans,
I don't
oh,
know
no.
why it did. Frankly, I don't know why. Maybe they felt because Michael was gone that they had to change the title. I don't know that Michael, in some way, maybe insisted that the title change, or that it was NBC who insisted the title change. Whether was it a rights issue that forced
Right, because
that,
it's
although
brand new
Blanche
characters.
Analis is still listed as,
Yeah.
inspired by, so the rights were still connected to this. I just think it was, I think what we can say is that this season 9 of Little House was never going to make anyone forget what came before it, and I think, in fact, it made people long for what had made it so special. I think that the program had moments. I think Pamela Roylance and Stan Ivar added a
I do
wonderful,
too.
grounded. There was romance there. There was a relationship there.
Yes.
The boys were terrific. All of that was really good. And here,
And I'm a
like,
Nancy fan. I'm a
Me too.
Nancy
and
fan. I thought
look,
she was
Nancy
great.
in that
Me too.
equation. I mean, David Friedman was so charming as the little, soup bowl haircut, adorable kid. He was wonderful. I just think it was not. I don't know, Melissa and I don't know. I should, that we were really prepared
I don't think
to
anybody.
carry this.
I don't think anybody. It was so different. It was so. I feel like it almost should have been a spin-off. And I don't know, call it the Laurel Almanzo show or something. I'd like because it kind of was.
Yeah,
was
but I
spin-off.
think,
But see,
Now,
here's
and now, Bean, you even mentioned you're right. Isn't this episode technically? We did it a lot of times from Bonanza.
yes, it
Bean
is.
often said, "Hey,
Yes.
I really like that episode of Bonanza. I wonder if I could do it differently or do it better or whatever. What would it look like with these people?" And abracadabra, there's an episode of Bonanza. So
Yeah, I think, I
This
think,
was-
and this was the version. The Bonanza episode was called "The Younger Brother's Younger Brother," was what it was actually called. This was so Michael's sense of humor, the goofy, when he wasn't making you cry. This was the goofy sense of humor
yes.
that he had. I mean, this episode, I have it in the notes at the end of the rundown, but this featured Strother Martin and Chuck McCann and Henry Jones. I mean, as Michael did it, as Michael wrote it, then it was Haas and Little Joe and Ben. Haas was kidnapped. I mean, it
Mr.
just,
Edwards, Haas,
and you just, by this
Chuck
point in
McCann.
time, they all had this space covered. They knew how to do this kind of material
Yes.
as a group.
But also, yes, but also, I mean, here's the thing. in season 9, I've always stood up for Pam Royland and Stan. Like the Carter.
Totally.
Listen, I think the Carter family worked. I think that
do too.
Jenny worked. I think that the new characters and the new plot lines, and without Ma and Pa, I think Michael Landon was actually incredibly successful filling in those holes that were no longer in the show. I think it worked, which is insanely amazing that he was able to take what was no longer there. Nancy worked. Like it all worked. And I think the reason is, I mean, first of all, casting. He cast brilliant people, and he cast people like Michael and like Karen, and even though they were boys, they filled in those
Totally.
the types, right? And they did it well. It was perfect casting. But also he kept it in the world of Little House on the Prairie,
Of
right?
course,
Where
of course,
where we
of
laughed
course.
and we cried and we learned the lessons, and and it felt like that world. And I don't know, for me, it's almost like they just ran out of the juice, like, because this episode is, and I said it before, it's not good enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's yes, Michael Landon's wheelhouse in terms of, like, he was a comedic genius as well as a dramatic genius. Like, yes, he could write really funny crap,
Yeah.
and yes, he got actors that were able to do it brilliantly, and yes, and yet something was lacking in this one that we had never really seen lacking before in episodes. And so that's why I'm like, it's season 9. Was he just lose? I think he just lost the plot, like,
I think I really think that and he certainly earned the right to step on. I mean, look at
Totally.
what he had done. There were 430 episodes of Bonanza, followed by 206 something, 203 in syndication, and then the various movies that went into that. There was an enormous amount of output in all that. And I think the size and the scale of Little House, of having to deal with all the different characters and keep everybody alive and keep this somehow fresh, I just think it had to have been exhausting.
Of course, absolutely.
Just absolutely
I'm
exhausting.
tired hearing how many episodes it is. I'm like, oh my God.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I feel like this episode was indicative of that. Like, I felt like this episode was like, oh, they've their steam has run out, And look, I just looked up, because I don't want to disparage all of season 9, because there are some really good episodes in season 9. Times Are Changing, Walter Oldseville, Rage, Little Lou, Wild Boy, Return of Nellie.
Little Lou was also a Bonanza episode.
Yeah, yes. There are some good episodes in this, but I don't know what happened. That we have this one, and then we have The Love of Blanche in season 9. So there is
my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
Like, we're Monday morning quarterbacking, rewriting episodes.
Of course.
What if they had started this episode? Because what was it? Bless all the dear children and Christmas we never forgot. As a story, if Mr. Edwards was sitting with, the Carter's boys, Chad, well, let me tell you about the time the Younger Brothers gang.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And it was a kooky story he was telling.
Yeah, that would have worked better.
That would have been a whole other thing.
Yes,
and then
it would have.
And then we could come back to the fireplace and go, boy, were they dumb. And it would be like,
you wonder. I think it raises Allison. I think that's a really good thought. It does raise the question as to how behind the 8 ball he was at that moment, and he went back into his Michael went back into his memory and said, "What can we pull out really fast to fill this space?" It's certainly possible. We'll never know. There's no way of querying Michael on this. I don't think Michael kept diaries. I don't think there's any way to know. But it is. I agree. It is it's a sign. It's a sign of something larger. Is
So-
what you can say.
There's a
about
moral.
this.
There's a
Sorry?
moral. There's morals. There's still a moral. One, dynamite is not useful for every occasion. No, you can't turn yourself in for the crime and collect the
Well,
reward.
but Al-
Things children need to know.
But Allison, I think you've hit the nail on the head in terms of like every Little House episode, even the silly ones, had some moral that you walked away going, that's why this episode happened, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
this
this
is
doesn't
the
really have
only
that.
episode I've
People
ever
are dumb.
seen where I was like, what did I just take away from this one?
No, don't be an idiot. Stay in school because clearly these people are really dumb.
In school.
School children, or you could wind up like these guys.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what I got. Don't be moron.
Yeah. That
Learn
case was
things.
never made, but that you could certainly make that case. Let's take
Now, we need to
at the
take
risk
a
of
case.
taking command here for a second.
No,
Let's
no, no.
take a break.
We're going to take a break because I love that we're not actually
Take a break.
talking about what happens in it because this is just
We're
not worth it.
Because everything kind of is a blur.
Everything's a blur and it's all silliness. But okay, we'll come back because I have some questions for what was going on with you in season 9. All right, we'll be back
Pants.
in a
We need
moment.
to talk about pants.
And pants.
From the pioneers to the presidents. Explore beautiful wildflowers, hike through iconic Hollywood locations, and end your day aboard the actual Air Force One at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum. Throughout the summer, take the Little House 50th Anniversary Tour at Big Sky Movie Ranch. Less than 15 minutes from Los Angeles and 30 minutes from Universal Studios.
All right.
It's so, I like this. I think this is a fascinating discussion because of the changes in 9 and then, like I said, is this a dream sequence?
Well, it
don't know.
felt like a
And
fantasy.
it absolutely could have been. It
Maybe
absolutely could have
if they'd
been.
made it a story, the mystery said Once Upon a Time or a dream scene, we'd go, oh,
Yes.
sure. But they tried to say this actually happened, so that's why we're having a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think, Allison, I think that is absolutely right.
It's a dream sequence.
Yeah.
It's just,
So
The show did a lot of dreams.
yeah.
So
Right, dream
and
sequences is
some
great.
wonderful dreams.
Yeah, yes.
Wonderful.
Like I
dreams.
said, we've never
episodes
had
are
this before where you walked away from an episode going, what was that about? Like what did I learn from this?
Yeah. Right.
Even
I think.
I mean, we should really revisit Blanche one of these days to see if we walk
I think
away
we should too.
whether we walk away having learned
Actually,
some
I
sort
think
of
there may be
moral.
more of a lesson
I
there.
think so too.
Yeah.
You're doing a drop in the
Allison
building.
is just clutching the pearls.
At least it was set in our world.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
my
God.
goodness. So, Dean, during season 9, were you concerned? Like, because again, there were good episodes in season 9, but it did take a different
Wait, are
tone.
we back?
Did you have an awareness or a concern that, like, oof, this is losing steam, or like, ooh, maybe we aren't going to be renewed? Like, what did you know? What didn't you know? What were your thoughts about what was going on?
Well, okay. So for all of
We're back.
all the, the sort of the.
Oh yeah, we're back.
critique
Sorry, we
were-
started. Yeah.
Are we
No,
back?
yes.
We're back.
Sorry, I didn't say
This
we're
episode's
back, but we're
confusing to us,
definitely
and we
back.
don't know what's happening. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes. So for all the critique that we're giving this, the show, by the time that season 9 was over, the show was still in the top 20.
Right.
So it hadn't collapsed, but it clearly wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
What it had been. No question about that. I don't know how Melissa and her team approached this season in terms of commenting on it. But I would say that Michael's grip, even though he was not present physically on the set, he was still the executive producer of the program. And so nobody was going to question that. That just wasn't going to happen. There was no way anyone was going to go into a meeting and say, we're not really liking the way this is being written. Now, NBC is in the position at that point to raise these questions.
But NBC's not in the writer's room. I mean, so you're
Well, yeah,
telling
but
me,
NBC approves all the scripts, so I mean,
right,
they had to be, they were in the writers' room.
de
They
facto.
were
Yes.
one step
Right.
away
Right.
from the writers' room,
Okay.
but they had access to
Okay.
They
everything.
green
Okay.
lighted this.
So do you
Yeah.
think there were other writers who were like,
Well, we had one, at least a couple of new writers, but the one that I remember is Chris Abbott, who came in and was a big part of season 9. I think she certainly was a part of season 8. I think that, I mean, our audience, and I apologize for this, our audience is, I can't really be as definitive about this because I think that there was such a sense that Michael was the commander here,
yeah,
and no one, even though it may have been necessary, but no one was going to test that.
so no one was going to say, Mike, this script is not up to snuff.
There is
Never.
no
9
chance
years
that would
after
have come off the
Bonanza,
stage
9
and
years.
gone
No,
to him.
9 years
No,
is gonna. Yep.
Yeah.
no,
It's
that would
it's
not have happened.
Right.
this
I,
is what it is, and he's doing it. And
yeah,
he's doing it,
exactly,
and that's all there is to it.
exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
So, I think that I felt so, and this is maybe, the wrong mindset to have had, but I was so grateful to be in this position
Sure.
that it wasn't, and I was so distracted by so many other things going on. There's a lot that comes at you when you are in that position that doesn't come at you when you are a member of the ensemble, which is what I had been. I went from number 14 to number 2 on the call sheet. That changes
So
things.
can you give, and you don't have to give anything away that you don't want to give away, but can you give a kind of example of the type of things that are coming at you now that weren't before?
Or maybe
Well,
not.
I
Or
think,
not? Totally up to
yeah,
you.
no. Look, I think that
You can be
I think
generic.
I became in that last season very drawn into all of the social things that go along with
Sure.
being
Sure,
in
sure, sure.
this position
Yeah.
that I had access to now as a 27, 28-year-old man that I maybe didn't have access to in the beginning. So there was a lot pulling on focus
The
and
publicity pressure. You're
all
number
of
2.
that.
The
Mhm.
All
publicity,
of that.
because I know from it being an ensemble that initially in the first years, all publicity was focused on Michael Landon and Melissa Gilbert, and then the whole family.
Right.
And then gradually, oh, let's talk about the Olsons. Oh, let's talk
Mhm.
about the other
Mhm.
people. But
Mhm.
and the primary focus was Michael and Melissa, primarily Michael, and then the family, and
Right.
then everybody
Right.
else. Next ring, next ring, next ring, and then it was kind of like a big deal when, like, around third, I guess down the hill in the wheelchair, somewhere around there, publicity about Nellie Olson became more of a thing, and
Yes.
each person started getting. But you're number 2 on the call sheet, and it's now the Laura and Almanzo show.
Right.
All publicity, TV Guide, and the National Enquirer, and everyone else
All
is
that.
going, and what do you think? You're now that guy.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing. The pressure of the publicity machine when you're now that guy. And also now you're the cute guy.
Yeah.
Boss isn't here. Adam's not here. There's no team
No
Adam.
team
There's
Adam.
no team Charles.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I was
So
like,
your
it was
future.
very, very clear at the beginning of this episode, like, oh, there's the official stud on the prairie. Like,
And
boom,
we talked about
beam,
the end of the
boom.
episode and the pants thing.
So
Yeah,
the
I mean,
pants.
there was
Oh, the pants.
clearly a
So
focus
yeah,
on you physically.
yeah.
Just
Michael
for
always
For
had
sure.
tight pants too.
Yeah, and
He
so
always
yeah,
had tight
absolutely. You were now supposed to be the sex
Yeah.
symbol. There was a focus on you physically.
No, there
that was not
undoubtedly,
in
undoubtedly.
there. It's great. Welcome to Hollywood. It is cuckoo, and so I can totally see where like all kinds of weird things would be
I
going
mean,
on.
so here's the, I think as I have thought about this in the years that have followed all of this, I mean, we don't get to pick the time when something happens.
Tell me about
We don't get to choose. And you're fortunate if you can really truly be ready for it.
Yes.
I
And then enjoy it. And then
yeah,
just
yeah.
enjoy
And
it.
in retrospect, like when I think about, Michael was a relative kid when he started on Bonanza, and he had all these other guys around him, and Michael was wonderful right from the very beginning, but he wasn't expected to carry things. He always carried his load, but he wasn't the man. He had 14 years
So
to
crazy.
figure that space out. And
Right.
he certainly by the time that was over, Michael was the alpha.
Yes.
No question he was the alpha in
Right.
that situation. I wish I had been either had more underneath me or another year or two with a raised level of expectation
Slowly.
so that I could grow into that space perhaps a little bit more confidently
Well,
than
they took you, they went dot, 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 ba-boom, instead of dot, 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 dot. So you're like, oh, hey, how did I get
Which
here?
on one hand must have been a huge confidence booster that they had that much, that they were willing to bet on you.
yes and no.
Right.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Yes and no.
So
Right. Because if you're also
I just
feeling
think
the pressure.
I think it's a challenge. Look, I wrote about this in Prairie Man, this time.
Yeah.
It was a challenging time. I think what I can be very grateful for, and I really truly am, is that I got to be part of it at least there was all the key ingredients were still in place when I came into this.
Definitely.
So I got to experience evolved versions of these characters, but I got to experience everybody in a really strong place as to who they were and what they were about, what was expected of them, what their flavor was, what they were going to deliver.
You got to do cinnamon chicken when Nellie also was at peak
Totally.
level.
Boom.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
nice.
And when it changed, look, Catherine was still there, Richard Bull was still there, but it was different because you weren't there, Allison. So the dynamic was different. It was fascinating to watch Catherine change with Nancy, where she changed with Nancy because suddenly what she got was, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? There was never that with you.
No, everything was
With
fine.
Nancy, it was like, I've bought the devil child. What am I going to do?
Now what?
So
Yeah.
she was different in that last year.
Yeah.
I mean, funny, wonderful, all of that. Just the whole world, the balance of the world, emotionally, thematically, in terms of what we were expected to bring, I think shifted a lot and there had been, and I would also say this,
Yeah.
interestingly enough, there were no meetings about this. There were no, Michael having a meeting and calling us in and saying, okay, this is what's going to happen now. And here's how we're going to do this. There were no conversations like that. I do remember before the season started, and I wrote about this in Prairie Man, where Victor took Melissa and I out for dinner. And to one of Victor's favorite drinking joints. I mean, this crack up. I mean, Melissa's 17 at that point. We're sitting in this smoky bar situation, having dinner. Melissa with a little bow in her hair, and Victor was what Victor tried to do was he was having that conversation with us that Michael did not have with us, which is, this is what we think we're going to do. And it was really more about, and I don't know that Victor knew what was coming script wise. I don't know that because Victor wasn't a producer on the program. I don't know that he knew that, but he did know that the three of us had to stand firmly together on this and look, that relationship, Victor's relationship with Melissa was wonderful. So she would have been all in with that. I had total faith in Victor. I mean, Victor was a wonderful, embracing director and, a wonderful scene partner and all of that. He was great. But we had nothing to say, and nor should we have at that time in our lives, about the content. We were not invited to consider the content. Just jumping ahead, when I did the new Gidget 3 years later, my critiques on scripts were really intense.
Wow.
But I felt like I felt like there was no Michael Landon there.
Right.
So you
And
also
someone
bottled this
had
up
to
for
say
how many
something.
years? You bottled it up for years, and finally on Gidget, they take your opinion occasionally. So, like,
Well, Harry Ackerman, who was the dean of television comedy, who was I Love Lucy, and Harry was great. He was very generous and took my notes. I remember him, when I was feeling particularly suicidal about a set of, we shot 5 at a time. We boarded 5 episodes at a time and shot them together.
Wow.
As one board.
Yes,
Wow.
bang that out.
So he was very generous in taking some of my notes, but he did call me afterwards and said, "Now you can't do this ever again. I'm listening to you now because I feel how concerned you are, but you have to be careful moving forward because we're evolving and changing here." Yeah. And this was a new show. That was not the case with Little House. I mean, it was always Michael in the number one seat. I just don't know that Michael was as present in the number one seat as maybe he had been.
So many shows, like when I met the people at Love Boat, and they were saying how, we have a meeting at the beginning of the year with all the actors and the writers, and we talk about what's going on. But you what? You what? You have a meeting and they tell you what's coming next and you discuss it. Ooh, well,
that would have been we never had that on Little House.
Never.
There was never a table reading. There was no rehearsal.
Not a zippy
other than
doo.
what was done on the set.
Just go baby,
What's interesting to me though is that, and I don't remember whose book I remember reading. It might have been your book. It might have been Melissa's book. I don't know whose book, but I remember hearing about when when Little House was canceled, how Victor French really went on a crusade to petition to get it back and to save it. And part of me wonders, like, I get it, you're an actor and you want to work and you love this job and you love these people and blah 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 blah. And on the other hand, I'm like, did he not see that it was losing the thing that made it the thing? Right?
But he wanted it back. He wanted it back. I think he genuinely, not just, I want a job. I think he went, we need Little House on the Prairie, and I'm going to try to make this happen.
And I think he loved what, we've talked about this before, and so much as we've learned so much from Tracy Hall and from the late Victor Allen French about how their father loved this character in a way that he had never really loved any character that he played. Always incredibly competent, but this was a character that gave him something.
Absolutely.
That fueled him in a really nice way. So I think I think Victor felt like if anyone could stand up for it, could be him.
Boom. Now I have to tell you that, I'm going to have to go get therapy for this, but you're pushing my buttons for my guilt about not staying for another 2 years. Like I
don't mean to be pushing those buttons, but okay.
Allison, let me counter that though, is that they didn't know what to do with your character anymore either. They ran out of steam with your character. You couldn't have served the same purpose, and therefore the show would have never been back to what it was.
Countless hours weighing the two alternate universes. In the alternate universe where I stayed, this universe, and it's crazy because I could have stayed, but I couldn't have stayed because okay, so first of all, I completed 7 freaking years on a show, which is a hell of a long time, and it was more than a third of my lifetime at
Yes, of
that
course,
point. I
of
was
course.
19 years old. Do you know how long 7 years is when you're 19 years old? I was all of junior high, all of high school. My braces went on, my braces came off. I got through junior high all the way through high school. I moved out of my parents, and then I bought a condominium and learned to drive, and I was still on the show wearing the wig. And I'm like, holy moly. So that was a little bizarre. And I was
Sure,
kind of like, maybe
sure.
I should stop because this is crazy. Also, they didn't say 2 more years. Had they said, and I will swear to a stack of Bibles,
Oh,
it's
they
only
were asking for 7, right? Or 5
four,
or 4.
four. Had they said it's only 2 more years, I probably would have said yes. But they said you must sign for 4 years. And I remember it was a whole story about the horrible guy they sent to negotiate, who later got sent to negotiate with Michael, and he had a fit. So this guy was not liked. But he talked to my agent, and well, okay, not for, how about 2 years? No, 4 years, take it or leave it. Well, how about a raise? No, take it or leave it. Okay,
Oh
maybe
boy.
more episodes,
Yeah,
take it or
that
leave it.
was a
Well,
that,
less
I mean,
it was a
episodes.
what
tough
a mistake.
negotiating environment, Allison.
Awful,
It was
awful,
a
awful.
tough
So my
negotiating
agent
environment.
said, I'm sorry, I've been an agent since practically like they started talkies, and I've never had this poor negotiation where literally they don't even come back and go, well, maybe this. What if we threw in like
Right,
this?
right,
Nothing. Just no, that's
right.
the offer. He said, they're talking to you like you work in like a tuna factory or something. This is not like a TV show even. I don't even know what to do with this
So
guy.
obviously they
And so,
must have been surprised when they heard that it was canceled if they were expecting at least another 4 more years.
right, but here's the thing. So they
Well,
said I still had a chance because even then, even my father, who was like, harumph, harumph, rah, screw these people, rah. And my agent was like, I can't believe these guys. What? They said, okay, it is still up to you at 19, God help you. It is still up to you. What do you think?
yeah.
This deal, from a strictly Hollywood perspective, strictly agent, we think this deal blows. So just from strictly Hollywood perspective,
I think this
but it
deal
is up to
blows.
you. It's not
Like
good
how the pros
from
say,
our
the steel blows.
from an agent manager perspective, we would say, ugh, but you can still choose to do this.
Yeah,
And then
of
my
course.
father said, but if the show keeps going, you're going to be like Miss Kitty on Gunsmoke and be there
Right,
forever.
right,
And I
right,
went, oh,
right.
that's not good. And then they said, and you're 18. Well, you're 19 now. You're an adult. So no welfare worker, no 3 hour school, no limit to the 8 hours, no guardian on the set. You realize that people who would not have hired you at 17, because they can get 18 to play 14 and up, would conceivably hire you when you're like a cute blonde chick with big blue eyes. So you'd like
Sure.
work, and you don't have time to be in any of these other things because they won't give you less episodes.
Right,
And if that was an
right,
option.
right,
So
right.
a lot of people would say it's the beginning of your career, you should probably go try to look for things. What do you want to do? And I said, my God, I've been on this thing for freaking my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I maybe need a change. And you're right, they don't sound like they want me there that bad. Let me think about it. I really had to think about it. Had I stayed, Steve Tracy would have still had a job for another couple of years.
Sure.
He would have dug that. And we
Sure.
definitely had a big throwdown and talk about that we worked it out.
Mm.
He certainly understood. He said, as an actor, I totally get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Duh.
of course. Of course.
And so he understood. But then now, on the other hand, had it gone 4 more years and he was on, he would have gotten sick while we were on the show, which would have been a whole
Right.
other thing. Had I stayed, I wouldn't have left town to go do dinner theater and comedy, which was really a good thing for me, acting wise, and in my personal life. You ever have like you're trying to break up with a boyfriend, and what you really need to do is leave town for a while. So a lot of really important stuff that I
Yes,
needed
I
to do.
do. I know.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
I had a whole list of important things I needed to do, like get out of town, be away from my family, be away from things, go do theater, go do this, meet other people, have a life, get out of my lameoid relationship. Generally, about 17 things that needed to get done that got done because I left, that would not have ever happened, and that needed to
course.
happen in my
Yeah,
life.
and you would have been on another 2 years pouring coffee.
Or if I'd have stayed, that's the
Yeah.
thing, it would have gone 4 years. Would it have gone 4 years?
Don't,
I,
yeah,
I,
no,
I,
no way of
It'd be
knowing.
completely
I
different.
don't think
No way
I
of
don't
knowing.
think
Remember
you'll
my
ever
Steve?
know, but I also have a feeling that no, it wouldn't have. I really do.
And Steve
It
would,
just
it would,
feels
you'd
like
had
they
that,
ran out of ideas at a certain
you'd have
point.
had a subplot of Nellie and Percival and Benny and Jenny over here, and they'd have had to hire two sets of twins to be the
Yeah.
little boy and the girl. It would have been a whole nightmare with the babies, because by then they would have had the baby twins for her and the baby twins for him. But you would have had that subplot. So what chemistry would have happened?
Sure.
Spin-offs or other shows, or would have gone 4 years? We don't know.
We don't know.
And the chemistry would have been different for everyone there had I stayed.
Yeah.
And every time I hear these stories, I go, I'm sorry, I should have stayed. But then I go, wait, these are literally two like sci-fi alternate universes. If I stayed, then it would
Yeah,
have been
it's
this
totally
path.
sliding
And
doors.
I-
Yeah.
oh my God, what would have happened to me? And if I'd gone this way, if I went this way, so I don't know.
No, you made
These
the
two
right,
things
Allison,
can't
you made the
exist at
right
the
choice.
same
I think you
time.
made the right decision too, because
You made the right
quite
choice.
frankly, Allison, I don't think they would have known how to write for you, being a mother
Would I
of
have
twins
just
and a
stayed
wife
nice?
and a nice, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think,
Like a relapse. I wanted to have a relapse.
but I don't think they would have done that. And I also don't think the audience would have accepted all of a sudden this nice motherly like it just wouldn't. It just
No,
wouldn't.
you're
was a
taking away the
novelty.
thing that drove
Exactly.
the program.
That
when I
drove the
got
whole
nice,
show.
it was a fabulous novelty of isn't it wonderful she can grow and be nice, but then
Yes,
what?
but now
Then
what?
Then what?
Now what? Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is right. This is Taming of the Shrew, and then
And then what?
what
Brilliant,
happens after the
brilliant.
shrew is
But then
tamed?
what?
No one really
Yeah.
cares
Right.
at that
I
point.
have tortured myself with this decision for many, many, many decades, and I don't know, because like I said, my life is a completely different thing, and what would have been if I stayed, and then what would have been? I don't freaking know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
too weird.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think if we're going to try and wrap this up,
Yeah.
the lesson of the older brothers is
Tell
don't
me.
turn yourself in from a crime and expect to collect the reward. I mean,
Yeah.
if there's a lesson, maybe that's really the only lesson that the
Right.
overt lesson that I see. And it's-
Dynamite does not
Yes,
solve all
dynamite is
problems.
not the
Dynamite
solution
does
to all
not
your
solve
problems.
All problems.
It
And
was a-
maybe you should bathe with your long johns off.
Yeah.
some great.
Although maybe
double
his long
takes,
johns
you
needed to be
know,
cleaned too. That's the only thing I took away was like, I guess his long johns smelled and he needed to wash them also.
Laundry and shower at the same time.
What a weird one,
Uh,
guys. What
yeah,
but
no,
interesting,
listen,
very
and if
fascinating
our-
discussion about season 9 and all that.
Yeah. If our audience was, I would say when we start these, and I know I'm talking directly to our audience now, when we start these things, we don't always know exactly where we're going to go.
We never
as
know
we
where
have
we're
these
going to go.
conversations.
No,
I have to
we-
say
we-
that
we-
I had
no.
no sense that this conversation was going to go in the direction it did, and that is sort of the fun of it, is that we really don't know
No, we
where it's
don't.
going to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, oh, awesome. We don't even actually have to talk about what happens in this episode because it's so unimportant. But
Because there's not really a plot.
Nothing
Just
happens.
saying.
Yeah.
no, but
pants,
interesting
wait,
about
okay.
season 9.
Pants.
Yeah,
That's the only
no,
thing
and,
we're
and
supposed to
thank you for
suggest.
bringing it up. And it stirs up some interesting old memories
Yes, it
and thoughts about a time that was, this incredible opportunity and any one of us, other than Allison, who stepped away, we just were going to take that opportunity. We're going to take
Of
it and run with it
course,
and take the
course.
shot,
Right,
and
yes.
there was no question that we're going to take the shot.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now the lingering shot of you guys in the pants, the pants.
Pants.
because
Okay.
They decided that no Michael, there's no Adam,
So
there's no this,
someone's
no
got to
that.
fill those
It's-
pants.
It's you and Stan, and the two of you when they go ha 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 ha. No, we're not giving you the money. Yark yark. Do you not trust me? No, we don't. Oh, yell at that. And they walk away.
Openly counting money openly counting $1,000 in the middle of the street. Yes.
That's
Did you
so
time
not
it?
a Little
How
House
long?
thing.
Did you time this? How long did we all sit there and watch the two of them walk away in those pants that they didn't normally wear in the parade? Walk away from the camera, I'm going 1/1000,
That's
2/1000.
That's funny.
How
Well,
long are we gonna do? How long are we gonna look
I
at the backside of
I've
Ellen's
certainly
Logan?
watched some attractive women walk away from me in pants too, and enjoyed that a lot.
Very,
That
very
wasn't a Little House
lingering
moment, but that
shot.
was definitely in life. You definitely watch. Yeah.
It was a very long lingering shot on the back
Yeah.
of both your and Mr. Ivar's pants. I'm just saying, it was a little obvious.
With those
Okay.
finely tailored pants.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Great
Bless the
pants.
wardrobe department. Okay.
Yeah. Did a great
All right.
job.
Well, I'm gonna wrap things up because what a bizarro experience this was watching this one. Bizarro, bizarro, bizarro. I love you, Little House on the Prairie. Don't be mad at me, but this is one of those. This is one of those.
And
We're not
we
mad
love
at
these
you, Pamela.
actors.
You're
Look them up.
a
Look
good
them all up.
observer.
Okay.
I mean, we as members of this, yeah, I think your observations were all really good. Allison's, yours too, and and I'm just sort of like, what the hell happened there?
It was a dream sequence. Yeah.
I mean, only explainable way is that it was a dream. Yes. She
Good
fixed
dream.
it. Okay, it's fixed. Let's just think of
It's
it
a
like a
dream
dream sequence and then we can forgive it.
Totally what happened.
Anyway, all right, we're wrapping things up, guys. Thank you for being here. Join us on our website, littlehouse50podcast.com, or our socials, Little House 50 Podcast, for everyone's goings-ons. And join us on Patreon, because I have a feeling we're going to be talking more behind-the-scenes stuff, perhaps season 9. And it's all so interesting. And also, share us around, like and subscribe, write a review for us if you want. That would be helpful. And we'll see you next time. Who knows what the next one's going to be, but we'll deliver the goods.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be something to do with Melora Hardin is what the next one's going to
Well,
be.
for sure. All right.
Yeah,
We'll keep you in suspense. Thanks, guys, for being here. Bob, get the wig. Let's fly. Let's fly away from season 9, y'all. Did you like my text? I was like, are we sure we want to do a season 9?